we're ready to paint the first color. Let me give you some painter's tricks. First of all, don't do it when it's too windy. If it's slightly cold or damp out, which it is because it's early morning, remember to work around the temperature. You have to shoot the way the paint wants to work, not the way you want to work. If it's cooler out, you may have a little bit longer time before the paint gels. You can manipulate it a little bit more. On the other side, if it doesn't dry fast enough, you can get runs. It all takes practice. So what I'm going to do, put on some music. If you like it, I can't play music because, well, they don't like that in the videos. But one old painter's trick is you want to take your color here, all right? If you have any spray cans, usually a real painter would use, professional would use that Duplicolor that's sold by, you know, with a hardener in it. That's fine, but for a moped, I don't want to spend $200 on all that. So we'll get some hot water. And one point of notice, you can tell the way the caps are different. See this on the color? This is a wide angle cap that can be turned two ways. It can be a vertical, straight up and down line, or if you turn this little red thing right here, the 90 degrees, it will shoot flat like this. Your best bet when you're starting out is always shoot vertically, because it's far easier to remember how to do that. And you have to do what you feel is most comfortable for you. So we're going to let these sit in the warm water for 10 minutes. And you always want to keep them shaking. You want to shake them all the time. If you have a paint mixer, which you don't, there's a couple of old ones at work. I want to see if I can get one. They don't use them at all. But we'll just leave these out here and we'll let them get warm. And what that does is it will loosen up some of the sticky stuff in the cans. We don't know how long the cans have been on the shelf. You just don't know. Nobody knows. They could be sitting there for 5-10 years. You want to shake your stuff up or stir it up very, very well. Even when they tell you no, it'll stay translucent, or it will stay in stasis, or it will stay stirred up, they're full of bullshit. One thing about paint companies, well, I think it'll turn out okay, I hope. I'm not happy, but not real happy. One thing about paint companies is this: if you read the fine print out of any auto body paint or any kind of paint that you buy, they will hold liability. If that paint, and you put it on your car and it curdles because it's a bad mixture, they are responsible for that. Now, when you go in there and tell them you've got 200 hours preparation on your paint job and you want to be paid for that too, it's sorry Charlie. They will reimburse you or give you a new set of paint. They will not give you one dime on all your labor. Even though it's their fault, they won't do it. So just be aware of that. We're going to put on 3 coats. See how, look at that, feel that? I mean, that is just nice and rough. And that's, excuse me, the way we want it. We want the sun to come in, like you can see on this side. I don't know if you can see it real well. We got the morning sun there, which is nice. But we want it really, really rough so that when the sun goes through that translucent blue, that it hits all these millions of angles and pops back out at you. The trick is, like I said, to get these to lay right. And also, if you're using, see how it looks? Isn't that kind of cool? That's why what I like to do is I like to put on the first coat slightly heavy and then sand it. So what that will do is give me a basis to start with, but it also makes the color thicker the way I want it, but I don't have all these mountains of up and down, up and down, up and down. I found that's the best way to do it. If you want your color to be low sheen, low shiny, then what you want to do is you can lightly sand it. That kind of takes out the fun of it. Remember, we're not going to see this again, or we will see it. We won't touch it again after the coat goes on. The paint is going to go on real thick. Okay, that's fine. And we're not going to see this in it. We're not going to deal with this anymore at all. All right? Then what we're going to do after the paint is on is I'm going to professionally take one of my $400 guns and I'm going to shoot some acrylic urethane hardened clear, one coat on it. All right? And we'll let it sit overnight. We'll sand it smooth, just a little bit where I want to put the decals. I'll put the decals on where I want them, not the stickum part. I mean, not the, you know, like the Hemi and the NOS, not those, but the flat stock. We'll put my decals on, and then we'll shoot like 2 or 3 more coats clear. Let it sit, and then we'll buff it out, and you'll be, well, I'll tell you what, you know, it ain't bullshitting if you can back it up. And I can back it up.